Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, hi, welcome. My name is Ariana. If you follow my social media, you're aware that I just had surgery 2 weeks ago today, actually. And so I just wanted to come on here and talk about it. I don't really post a lot about it, but I figured that it could be beneficial for other people who have maybe received the same diagnosis as me, had questions, or just to make other people aware, really, because I cannot tell you how many times I've had to explain the situation to people and their response is like, "You're too young for that." "Oh my gosh, what's wrong? What happened? Did you have an injury?" So just felt like it'd be beneficial to come on here and talk to you guys and explain. So basically I had a periacetabular osteotomy, which is a bunch of fancy words for removing of bone, my pelvic bone. So basically my diagnosis is hip dysplasia. I originally thought that I only had it in my right hip when I had it done almost 3 years ago. I had my right hip done May 4th of 2018. And when I originally had gotten diagnosed, I was not told anything about having it in my other hip. My surgeon is very vague, at least in my experience. With me personally, he doesn't say much, doesn't elaborate, and I'm really shy on asking questions, so I guess that's both of our faults. But anyways, I didn't know I had it in my left hip. I didn't have pain or anything, so I was like, oh great, I won't have to do this on my other hip. Honestly don't know what sparked it this time, what triggered it. I just started having pain maybe early last year, a year ago, maybe even before that. Sorry, I say a lot. Okay. So I started to have pain and I eventually just gave in and consulted him about it, and he immediately just said it's the same thing that's going on that I had on my other hip, which was the hip dysplasia, and that I would require the same surgery, except that he thought that this time I also had a labral tear because of the pain that I was experiencing. And that's also what had thrown me off in the beginning, was because I was not having the same pain this time. Last time in my right hip, it was more in the front of my hip and groin area. This time it was more in my glutes and below. So that threw me off, but he explained that that's probably because I have a labral tear, which is caused by the hip dysplasia. And when I talked to him about it the first time, he just said that it's gonna have to get done eventually, but it's really at my own convenience, and that he felt it wasn't bad enough to operate on yet. And I was like, okay, well, I knew the pain I was having, but I knew that it wasn't consistent. So I was like, okay. And I didn't want to have surgery at the time, at that point in time. So I kept going along, and then finally I had started my new job where I work, and I'm on my feet all day. I work at a doctor's office and I'm a medical assistant, so I'm running around on my feet all day. That's when I realized, being on my feet all day, that it was really painful. And so I gave in. I told him that it was getting worse, and he immediately said, okay, let's do surgery. He's top in the one of the top surgeons for this in the nation, and he's best in the state. So he was super backed up. So they scheduled me for January 5th. What else? So as far as pain, I said prior, it's really different for everybody. I really didn't think that I had it because I had originally when I got diagnosed, because my boyfriend at the time's sister also had it, and she had just had the surgery. And when she told me about how she knew and stuff, I was like, I just didn't have the same symptoms exactly, but I was like, well, maybe. So it really like threw me for surprise. But it's not common, but it's more common in like breached babies, and I think premature babies. I was premature, like 6 weeks. It's also more common in females than males. As far as recovery, I am like young and healthy, so my recovery is supposed to be 6 weeks on crutches, and then at 6 weeks I can start to like wean off the crutches and start to go to physical therapy. I think it's around then, or like maybe 8 weeks post-op. So, but you know, my mom and my sister have been a great help. They've been, you know, bringing me food and asking me if I need anything. I have exercises that I have to do, like stretches. I have to like pull my knee up to my chest 500 times a day, and then I have to like push it like in and out, like my knee, while sitting 500 times both ways, and do like a figure 4 stretch, which is really just like putting your ankle on your knee and you leave that there until you don't feel the stretch anymore. And also laying flat, which doesn't seem like it would be a stretch, but it is. When you have an incision, like laying flat, it stretches that area out. And I started that like the morning after my surgery in the hospital. I did have to stay in the hospital. I was only there for like a total of 24 hours, not even, which was good. Like the last time I was there for like 2.5 days. This time they just like wanted to not keep people in the hospital with COVID. It was really annoying because I had a roommate. I'm not gonna speak too much on that, but I've been privileged enough to, like, the times I have been in the hospital, I've not shared a room with someone. So that is like, kind of annoying. I also wasn't able to sleep much because they were constantly kept checking my blood pressure. They thought that my blood pressure was really low, but I'm a smaller person, so my blood pressure is not the standard like 120/70 for adults, especially people like my age and my size. And they were not aware of that at first, and they just kept monitoring me, and every 20 to 45 minutes coming in and checking on me. I had oxygen for a while until like the next morning, and then they realized that I was fine. I didn't need the oxygen. I had a Dramamine pouch. I don't know the name. It was something with a Z, but that was put on here before surgery to relieve nausea, because I have a lot of nausea waking up from anesthesia. Prior to surgery, I had to take, I can't remember the name, I think it's a chlorhexidine. It's an antiseptic shower. You have to take 3, and you take one the morning of, the night before, and then the 2 days prior. You have to put clean sheets on once you start taking the antiseptic showers. You have to use a clean terry washcloth every time, and a new bath towel every time, and put like clean clothes on every time. It's just to prevent like infection. I don't do good with pain meds. I was prescribed 6 medications. Not all of them are pain meds. I was prescribed Percocet, which I don't do well on. It makes me nauseous. I only take it at night, and I only usually take about half. The pain has been worse this time than my last time, but not too bad. I'm not taking it around the clock like they say. Like they say for every 4 to 6 hours is needed. Like I'm good. I was also prescribed Indocin, which is to prevent some type of ossification. I take aspirin daily to prevent blood clots. I take vitamin D to help with the bone healing. I take Zofran for nausea, Percocet, Indocin, aspirin, vitamin D, Zofran. Oh, and Valium for muscle spasms. It just like relaxes your muscles and relaxes you. So yeah, between those 6 things, I don't take the Valium very often. Like I said, I don't really take the Percocet. I take the vitamin D and aspirin daily, and then the Zofran is just as needed when I'm nauseous. I have a CPM machine that I sit in pretty much most of the time. The CPM machine is a continuous passive motion machine, and it moves your leg back and forth so that your hip joint doesn't get stiff. So that's for 2 weeks. They should be coming to pick it up soon, actually. So this is the machine. Obviously my foot just like sits in there, and then there's a remote, I don't know, somewhere, and it's set to go 90 degrees. So it pushes this back and bends my knee to 90 degrees. I also use this, there's like a smoothie there, but this is a cold therapy unit. I call it an ice machine, but you basically just put ice and water, and it has like a padding at the end that sits on your surgical site, and you can like use a Velcro strap to wrap it around, but it just sends like cold water, like ice cold water, and helps with pain and swelling, all of that. And it is a big like help with pain reduction, and it's a lot better than having to put like ice directly on there or ice packs, because a lot of times they're too heavy or uncomfortable and they hurt the surgical site, at least in my experience. But yeah, so I think that's all that I can think of right now. I'll probably do another update like after my 2-week post-op appointment, which is in 2 days, I think. And maybe I'll next time insert on that update, I'll insert a picture of like the incision on what it looks like now. But yeah, if you guys have any questions, concerns, or anything, any comments, make sure you leave them below. And if you're new here, make sure you subscribe. I am really motivated to post a lot more often. It's just like hard. Like I know I keep saying like, oh yeah, I'm gonna post every week, and I'm terrible at posting, but I work full time and it's really difficult to make time for everything after working all day long, like 10, 11, 12 hours. It's really difficult to make time to like record and edit and then post, and a lot goes into it. And so when I just get like overwhelmed, and I'm like, oh, well, if I record this video, that means I have to edit this video, and then I have to post it, but then editing this video, I'm gonna hate it and gonna want to redo it. I've recorded this video 3 times, so maybe 4. This might be the 4th time I've recorded this video over the past like 4 or 5 days. So if that doesn't explain to you how like particular I am with my videos, that's also why it's so hard for me to be good at posting. And I do want to apologize for not following through on Vlogmas. It just became too much, like I said, because I work full time. Recording, editing, and posting every single day is a lot, even if it was like short videos. And not only that, but because I'm working all day, it's like, well, what am I gonna record? I'm at work, I can't record when I'm at work. So it's like a small window when I get home where I come home, I eat, and I shower, and then it's like, okay, well, what do I record for tonight? So I just didn't feel like I could keep up with that. So I do apologize for not following through on that, but I do want to be more consistent in posting. I'm not going to say a certain day just because I don't know when I like will get to things, but I am going to try to post more often. So make sure you subscribe so that you get notifications when I do post and you don't miss them. I would love to hear from you guys. If you're new here, like, comment down below your name, where you're from. But thank you so much for watching this video. I hope I answered all of your guys' questions. If not, obviously feel free to leave a question down in the comments or DM me on Instagram. I'll leave all of that in the description box below. I'll leave my TikTok, my Instagram link, all of that. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in my next video. Bye.